let me do this exercise as well with you. Here is a typical brainstorming type of a, not exactly brainstorming, but a thinking process occurs on an example scenario. For example, if you say that, look, let's just discuss one topic. If we agree that performance leadership is going to be our number one priority for the next 2 to 3 years, then let's talk about how we can carve a product definition around that, and how do we face different stages of how you advance this product definition task. Okay, so what you can do is this. Let's then you can say, you can work with the guys, different teams, and then say, look, for the preliminary product definition, let's just first lay down what is the top level set of functions, one or two functions that we need to focus on, that is going to keep us in the driver's seat, in the leadership position, with our performance being the key focus area. In other words, what are the technology areas that we need to work on in order to keep our product's performance in the front and center? Now again, when you say that product performance is number one priority, you are also saying that perhaps the cost and perhaps some other parameters are not all that important compared to this number one priority, although they are important. But there's always this trade-off that you need to be aware of. Obviously, you want to get everything in the product, and great teams, great companies facilitate great engineering teams to achieve that. But for the thinking process, you want to be aware of the fact that there is no free lunch. You can't get anything for free. When it comes to product development, you always have to think about there is a cost attached to something that you are asking the product to perform. And then you may say, look, let's work on this piece of technology because this is where our core performance lies. And so let's focus on the technology enhancement. Let's not worry too much about how the product definition looks like going forward. So you may say, look, let's enhance the technology. And then you should say that, look, how do you measure your technology enhancement? If you say that, look, our performance is whatever metric you use, however microseconds we take to get this result, or however number of users we simultaneously serve, millions or billions or whatever number of users, and how many data points we process in a fraction of a second, whatever that may be, if you establish that there is a metric or a set of metrics that your product's performance can be measured reliably against, then you're going to agree with your engineering team that let's set them as our target point, and let's enhance the technology to meet where we want this new target metrics will be or should be. And so that gives, and then what we do is we focus on technology development. Engineering guys, team, you focus on technology development, while you, marketing product manager, you are going to sort of look outside and then see what kind of a product definition you can fit based on where your company wants to go and so forth. And with that, what you come away from these meetings is you walk away with a commitment that engineering team is going to focus on the technology enhancements, not fully, but to an extent that it is possible within the time period that you've set. And then you're going to go off and then you are going to look at the fuller product definition. And remember, you have not yet committed to the product, meaning you have not agreed that, okay, this is what I want my product to be, but you just wanted to set in one direction so that things are moving forward. And then if such a performance driven product definition, product development leads you to a point where you say, okay, that's enough, I think that is a better performance than before, now I'm going to wrap this performance with a few product features that we need to put together, and they may not take a whole lot of time. And so that's one way you arrive at a product definition in a workable arrangement with the engineering team. And there's another way you can look at, and there's another aspect to understanding where your product definition should go, and that is the customer feedback. Now, this customer feedback topic I'm going to take up entirely in a separate lecture, but here I want to touch upon one tactical ways that you can look at this customer feedback. You always want to make sure that you weigh the customer feedback based on who they are and what they are. In other words, not all customers are equal, in the sense, not only because they don't give you all the same revenue that is there, but at the same time you want to understand what is the customer's position in their own market space. Are they leaders, or are they followers, or are they getting ahead and ramping up faster, and they are known for something unique? So just as how you would evaluate your own company, your own product strengths, you look at your customers and their strengths and their weaknesses and their growth potentials, and what others are saying about your customers in their market space, and then you weigh their opinions based on that customer strength. For example, you may say that you may even go to a specific step and say, look, I'm going to categorize my customers into category A, B, and C. Category A, they are, they give me a lot of feedback, but at the same time, they seem like a very tactical, hit and run, now here, gone tomorrow type of customer. And so, I'm going to listen to them, and I'm just going to put that, on the side. I'm looking at their feedback, but I'm focusing more on what my key customers are saying to me. They could be strategically key customers, as let's say category B, and you're going to keep their requests and requirements close to your heart. And then also, let's say category C, who may not be terribly innovative companies, but who provide you the bread and butter, a steady revenue stream. They're not going to go away at a very next competitive product that comes on the horizon. They are loyal to you, and and they'll give you advance notice if they are shifting their product platform and so forth. And so you want to weigh all these customer feedback points based on who this customer is. So that's kind of an awareness you want to have when you talk about customer feedback and so forth. Obviously, there is this big tenet also that not all customer feedback. Well, actually, sometimes it helps if you totally ignore the customer feedback. Well, in situations, which situations you would do that? Well, if you are shifting to an entirely new market segment, or if you have come up with a internally agreed the entire change in the corporate strategy, and you have the wherewithal to go after a new market segment, and then that's a highly competitive market segment. And then customer may say, well, I want you to enhance this product, my current product, this and this. So you may decide to weigh that against where you want to go. So remember, this brings you back to the question of whether your new product definition is aligned with the strategy or not, right? So you always want to make sure your left hand knows what the right hand is doing as far as the strategy and the new product definition. And so that is pretty much the specifics that I wanted to talk to you to help you to advance the specific product definition related tasks. There are plenty other questions obviously related to your company and so forth, but I think if you go over this lecture over again, you will realize that some of these questions, in fact almost all of these questions, you can take and then put it into practice in your day-to-day product management task, go to work tomorrow. In fact, I hope that pretty much everything that I talk in this lecture series you can apply if in your day-to-day product management. That is the intent. It draws directly from my experience, and I want them to be used immediately. And again, let me stress that this course, like I said, is meant for a beginning individual who wants to, or who has just gotten into the product management position, and or thinking about getting into the product management position, and really don't know much about how the world looks like from inside a product management team. Okay, so with that, we'll end this lecture now, and we'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.